the first thing we do is move the timer up, except on the first turn. Next we have the Commando planning phase, and this is where we give any adrenaline tokens that we've spent on the previous round to the Overseer player. Now this is the first turn of the game, so there isn't any. So all we need to do now is have the commanding officer determine the initiative order, so we'll give the Recon Specialist Initiative 2, then the Heavy Support Specialist, then the Rifleman. Next, each commando chooses their stance. So this is where we can choose to be cautious, sneak, or have a reckless advance. And what we want our Recon Specialist to do is open that door. Each unit, each commando also has a special here. So for example, as well as their kit, they've got these ones which are hard printed on there, on the commando card. This guy has a P100, that's his weapon. He can use burst fire on it. And he also carries a hunting knife. Okay, from his kit, being a point man, he's better at opening doors. So we're having this guy up front. Let's have a cautious advance for him. We'll have the Rifleman. Let's make him go prime. So he's kind of lying down in the background. And we'll have our Heavy Support Specialist braced, ready for action. So here's our team, here's our Recon Specialist. He's got to try and get through this door. Because now we're moving into the Commando Activation phase. So things move quite quickly, and what you can do on your turn is quite simple. You can investigate, move, open a door, trade, attack, revive, heal. And each one of those actions costs a number of adrenaline points. One mostly, or 2. So attacking, reviving, healing costs 2. Well, what we want to try and do is open a door. That's going to cost us 1. And the amount of adrenaline we can spend is given by our stance card. So you can see that with Cautious Advance, the Recon Specialist has 6 adrenaline available. He can take the most actions or spend the most adrenaline. So when we're on or adjacent to a door, we can spend 1 adrenaline, or increase our adrenaline by 1, to try and open that door. And we have this piece of kit that says you can re-roll a failed door stat challenge and you do not suffer damage from doors. Once we spent our 1 adrenaline to attempt to unlock the door, the Overseer turns over the door tile to reveal what kind of door it is. And in this case, it's a locked door. And we look at the text. It says the door is locked. A commando must pass a 3 intelligence challenge to open this door. So this is an intelligence challenge. And what that means is we need to roll some dice now equal to the Recon Specialist's intelligence. His intelligence is 3, and that's unchanged by his stance. And this means we need to use 3 black dice. Okay, so it's always black dice you're using here. And the locked door says it's a 3 intelligence challenge. So what that means is we need to roll 3 successes on those dice. So if our intelligence was 4, we'd roll 4 dice and try and get 3 successes. Our intelligence is 3, so we're trying to roll 3 dice and get 3 successes. So let's do that. Alright, we've only got... No, we've got 2. We've got 1, 2, 3. You'll see that some of these sides have 2 successes on, some only have 1. So this is 2 successes plus 1, that's 3 successes and a blank. Alright, 3 successes. We've successfully completed this 3 intelligence challenge. So we have successfully opened the door. This gets removed. So the Overseer now reveals these rooms, and we're going to resolve these room cards. And we do that in priority order. If you notice on the bottom, this one says priority 2, this one says priority 3. You'd resolve all priority 1s first, then priority 2s, then 3s. Okay, so we're going to resolve this corrosive gas. It says place up to 9 corrosive gas markers in this room to form 1 cloud. The other thing is the Overseer can, if they wish, open doors. You know, they have that kind of godlike ability to do what they want in terms of opening doors. The missions may also make things open. I don't know, maybe you press a switch and a door opens. Okay, so that's 9 gas cloud tokens. Let's place these in such a way that, I don't know, you can't place them on walls, and they've got to be touching at least 2 other tiles. Gas clouds are corrosive, and what they do is, well, if a commando starts his turn on a gas cloud, then they take a wound, but not only that, if a commando moves through one of these spaces, then he'll gain a wound. So this is a problem for the commandos if they want to go this way or this way now. Alright, so the Overseer's kind of set this trap for them. Now we've resolved this one, we can move to the priority 3 one, which says a flanking party. Spawn 3 rogue clones in this room. And the Overseer takes 3 rogue clones, that's these guys, and clones that are spawned from a room card can be placed anywhere in the room. When you're spawning stuff, you might want to keep the door marker there until you're done, because you're only spawning stuff in, if this is room A and this is room B, you're only spawning stuff in room B until this is removed. Alright, so let's, these can be placed anywhere. Let's see. Okay, and now that we're done with our room cards, these can be discarded and we can get rid of this door. Now at this point, the Overseer player could be using some of his dashboard abilities. Some of them have interrupt written on. That means they can play them during an activating commandos phase. So we've got surprise attack here, dodge or cave in. I don't have enough adrenaline to play cave in. We've only got 6, it costs 10. Dodge says force commando to re-roll an attack. Well, he's not attacking, so we don't need to do that one. But we could do a surprise attack. Interrupt. Make an attack with an enemy against an acting commando. And to do this, we would play the action and we would put the cost in our available adrenaline. So we've got 6 available. And we place them here. Alright, that will be the cost paid. And then we could take our surprise attack. The problem is then, once the commandos are finished, we move into the Overseer phase. The Overseer would only have 2 adrenaline left to do other stuff. Alright, so we're not going to do that right now. We're going to save our surprise attack for the time being. But just so you know that interrupts are available. And instead we can have the recon specialist continue to do more stuff. And he's only spent 1 adrenaline so far, and that was just to open that door. But we could have this guy make an attack, say, for a cost of 2 adrenaline, he could attack one of these clones. So let's have him attack this one here. So we're going to grab 2 adrenaline from supply. The cost to attack, for a commando to attack, is 2 adrenaline. Remember, they can use up to 6 adrenaline. And we've got a ranged weapon, this P100. It's got a range of 5, and it has a special burst fire. You can re-roll 1 die from each attack with this weapon. So we've declared our weapon, and we've chosen our target. Now we check we've got line of sight. Now line of sight, we look at our facing, we're facing this way, and line of sight goes in this kind of diagonal, what they call this field of vision. So it's diagonals from here, so all the way out this way, extending this way. So we've got line of sight on all of these. They're all in our field of vision, I should say. Now we check we have range, and to do this we have to calculate the shortest path to the target, and you do this just by counting adjacent squares, and you can go diagonal as long as you're going diagonal in just one direction. Okay, so you can't calculate shortest path by switching diagonals. So for us it's 1, 2, 3. Our weapon's range is 5. To check you've got line of sight, then you've used that shortest path, and if that shortest path, so for example here we got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, the shortest path from this guy to this guy is 3. If the shortest path passes through a door, a wall space, or between 2 adjacent wall spaces, then the line of sight is blocked. In this case, where you've got 2 shortest paths, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, the 2 shortest paths, one of them is blocked and one of them is not, then the target gains cover. And if they have cover, then they get +1 to their ranged defense stat. As it goes, this guy doesn't have cover, you can see that quite clearly. And here we look at the rogue clone's card. So it's got a movement of 6, he's got a ranged defense stat of 4, and a melee defense stat of 4. He's got stealth and sure-footed. Now stealth makes them particularly able to resist ranged attacks, and what it means is anything over a range of 4 can't hit a clone with stealth. And he's also short-footed, and that means he's able to move through rubble without taking any penalties on movement. So all we need to worry about here is his ranged defense stat of 4. And this tells us how many successes we need. Let's look at our weapon and gather our dice. So we're going to use the P100, it's a ranged, and you can see the icons here. It uses 1 red die and 3 black dice. Chances of hitting with a red die are slightly better. But also look to check if there's anything here. We got Spotter. You and all commandos roll an additional die, red die, on ranged attacks against enemies within 5 spaces of you this round. So we might be able to use that. So we can use our Spotter, but it's going to cost 1 adrenaline. Okay, which is fine. We'll grab one from the supply, and you can use this at any time. You can pretty much use your kit any time unless it says otherwise as it goes. But you've got to use these abilities before you roll your dice. So we're doing a ranged attack against enemies within 5 spaces, so we'll get an extra red die. And let's roll these things. Right, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. All we do then is look at the rogue clone's defense value, which is 4 for ranged attacks. Because our attack value is higher, the enemy takes a wound. So grab a wound token. These are these guys. And this goes with the enemy on the board, okay? So that guy's wounded. However, if we look at the rogue clone stats, in the top right here, he has a health or vitality value and it's only 1. This means that he can only take 1 wound before he's destroyed. So we've killed this enemy, we remove him from the board, and we place him back in the Overseer's reserves. Alright, job done. So we're doing pretty good with our recon specialist. He's used 4 out of his 2 adrenaline. Now we can make as many attacks as we like. We've got 2 left. Remember, we can use up to 6, so we could attack again if we wished. We could even move an attack, but we haven't got enough left. I think we have an ability that might help us. He's a trailblazer, so once during each of your turns you can take a move action without increasing our adrenaline. So we can do that now if we wish. His speed is 3 because of the cautious advance, so we can move 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3, and we can turn facing it as well when we move. And now we could potentially attack one of these other guys. Let's try and take out this nearest one. So it's going to cost 2 adrenaline. Remember, we've still got the Spotter ability, because this applied to all ranged attacks against enemies within 5 spaces of you this round. Yeah, it applied to the whole round. And we're using our P100, which is 1 red die plus 1 from the Spotter, 3 black die. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's enough to take out this second rogue clone. Job done. That's his activation done, really, because the recon specialist has spent all of his 6 adrenaline. So now we'll move on to number 2 in the initiative order, which is the heavy support specialist. And he's braced. And it works well for ranged attacks. So ranged attacks cost 1 adrenaline instead of the normal amount. So I think we'll spend 1 adrenaline and have him move first off. I'll put 7 in the pool. This guy can only spend up to 4, and he's got a speed of 2. So we're going to have our guy move in like so, I think, and change facing. If I'm facing this way, then this clone won't be in my field of vision. If I turn this way, then he is, and there's no cover to be had. As we're braced, then we'll do another ranged attack, but we're using our M62 bull rifle, which is 2 red, 3 black. And because the recon specialist Spotter, we get an extra red die. Yeah, so this recon specialist has used his spotter ability to kind of pick out these ranged enemies. Remember, we're needing 4 only. Job done. Okay, so that clone, that rogue clone, is also out here. Now you may be thinking, well, those guys were really easy to take down. Well, they were, because they were in small numbers, but just you wait till the Overseer's turn, and then you can see how they can get their own back. We don't want to go through this cloud just yet. We're going to try and head this way, I think. And let's use this, let's go and investigate this token. The heavy support specialist has still got some adrenaline left, but I think maybe we'll use, we'll move down to the rifleman now. Although he's prone, isn't he? He's not going to move very far at all, because he's lying down. Okay, let's use our heavy support specialist and move 2 more spaces. 1, 2. Which is going to cost me 1 more adrenaline to move. I'm actually going to turn him around this way for now. Have him facing this direction. This guy's facing this way. And because we're adjacent to this investigate token, we can now draw an investigate card for 1 adrenaline. Remember, these are the actions we can take. Investigate costs just 1 adrenaline. And that's his 4th. His max adrenaline, his turn is 4. Okay, let's investigate this spot. So we draw a card and we remove the marker. We have found a flashbang grenade. Action: increase your adrenaline by 1 and discard this card. Target space on your line. Okay, so this is a grenade. We can take this with us. So we found a nice piece of equipment. Let's take it. We'll put that in our supply. Incidentally, this icon down the bottom right here, that's the trade icon. What that means is we can give this item to an adjacent commando if we use the trade action, which costs 1 adrenaline. And that's it. We've removed this investigate token now because we've found the stash. Finally then is this guy. He's our rifleman, and he's prone. He's only got a speed of 1. And I think what he'll do is, first off, deploy our sentry drone. We've got a max adrenaline of 5. He's good at attacking, but we've got nothing to kill now. But we've got this sentry drone. It's going to cost 2 adrenaline. See the cost at bottom right? Action: place the sentry drone adjacent to you. You can only have 1 sentry drone on the map at a time. You can use this action twice during a mission. Okay, so we can take this for a cost of 2 adrenaline. And we'll place the sentry drone, this is this figure, on the map, adjacent to us here. The sentry drone says, during our turn, the sentry drone can perform 2 of the following actions. We can move, attack, or guard. A guarding sentry drone can make 1 attack during an overseer phase when an enemy moves into its weapon range and line of sight. Its weapon range is 8. Pretty good, huh? Or we can make it move. It's got a movement of 4. So with its speed of 4, I think we're going to have it move. Well, we want it to guard these guys, really, don't we? So let's have it move up here. We've got to be careful because things can spawn at this entry point. So maybe it would make sense if we have it here, have it pointing this way. Then it's kind of got this area covered. And then we'll have it guard. We don't have any tokens to signify that it's guarded. I mean, maybe you could put it down up like that if it's not guarding, or I don't know. I'm going to use an adrenaline token to represent the fact that it's now in guard mode. And my rifleman, it's a shame he's only got a speed of 1. But 2 more adrenaline. I'm going to move him up. 1, 2. And that's it. That's the commandos done. It's now the overseer phase.